What's up, guys? It's your boy Cjax. Back with another video, and I don't even know where to begin, man. I think we should just jump into the review. Guys, this episode of Raw was draining. It was awful, and it was embarrassing. I nearly fell asleep like 4 times, I think, during this, bro. I'm like half asleep right now. So you know what, man? We're gonna muster up some energy, and we're gonna run through this episode as fast as we can, because literally nothing happened tonight, and the main event was a whole load of squash match slop. And nobody can convince me that the main event was worth it tonight. You watched 2.5 hours of lifeless garbage content to get to a 4-minute squash match that we already knew was gonna happen, and you made that the main event? Like, this was a complete and utter embarrassment. And that's just the bottom line, okay? I genuinely have absolutely nothing good to say about this show, realistically, besides maybe like 1 or 2 things, and that's really it, bro. This episode was absolutely awful. Let's get into it. Roman Reigns comes out with the bloodline. The bloodline comes out to the ring, okay? You got, I think he takes it from, and he basically said, Roman, hey, Balash, you beat me, but my family knew what was coming. And Roman, hey, clash in Italy with my children watch you win. So I ain't acknowledging Jimmy. I ain't acknowledging Jay. I only acknowledge you. 2 and Balash. And then after Cjax525 says this, Roman takes the mic back and basically, yells to get some box from some guy at ringside and pulls out a new doo-doo necklace, as some fans are calling it, because it's a brown, tribal necklace. They're calling it the doo-doo necklace, bro. Roman pulls out the necklace and basically holds it up and says, Jacob, you feel like an outsider, right? But you are actually a part of this family. You are a part of the bloodline now, and I want to welcome you in with open arms, because I know what it's like to be an outsider. He says that we wouldn't have the tribal chief and main event Jey Uso without Jimmy Uso, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously during COVID, with the events of Jimmy Uso even starting this thing with Jey Uso and everything like that, that kind of led to the whole entire bloodline and everything like that, right? So that's why he asked people to acknowledge Jimmy earlier. But he tells Cjax525, he basically says that the bloodline will last forever. He says that when Yokozuna was wrestling, the bloodline lasted, right? That was the bloodline. He says that, when Umaga was main eventing WrestleMania, which is just a massive botch, because unless I'm missing something, I've never heard or seen Umaga main eventing a WrestleMania before. So with that being said, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if Roman just forgot to not go completely off of the, go on the script of what he was told to say, I guess, or maybe he chose to say, I don't know, but this is ridiculous. I don't even know who. This is how you know that ChatGPT is making this show, right? ChatGPT, guys, is creating the programming you're seeing. Roman Reigns, one of the most accomplished wrestlers in the history of wrestling, just got on a live mic as the world champion and the top star in the entire industry and said when Umaga main evented WrestleMania, that was bloodline. When in the world has Umaga main evented a WrestleMania, bro? You see what I'm saying? The ChatGPT dialogue, the wrestlers aren't even reading through the lines anymore. They're just like, okay, AI said this, all right, cool, let's do it. And that's the low-effort garbage that we get every week. It's infuriating, because you can tell that nobody backstage gives a crap whether the shows are good or not. Nobody cares what the performance of the viewership is. Nobody cares if it's entertaining anybody who's not inside of the arena within a couple 100 feet of them. It's a joke, man. There's zero attention to detail, and it's the same repetitive slop every week. But anyways, Roman doesn't mention The Rock's history at all. He mentions Rikishi dancing all over the place, and the crowd popped for that, but nobody mentions The Rock. People will probably say, oh, well, this is an Easter egg, man. This is a teaser to the fact that, he's at odds with The Rock. Guys, no one cares. Or at least until we have a set storyline between Roman and Rock, this is not going to matter. And I guess this will be called back to at some point. But at the end of the day, he puts the necklace on, on Cjax525. Cjax525 smiles, and Roman basically says, welcome to the bloodline. And then they all raise their ones up to the sky. Jey Uso's kind of, reluctant to put his hand up, but he puts his hand up, okay? After this takes place, they walk out, and there's some guy, I think his name is Eric Andre or whatever. He's John Cena's co-star in some movie that's coming out on Netflix or whatever. And he shakes hands with the Bloodline members as they walk up the ramp, and then he tries to dangle Jacoby Fatu's necklace and play with it a little bit, and Jacoby Fatu gets pissed off, throws him down into the ring and everything like that, and then he tries to go for a splash, but security gets in the way, and then Roman Reigns tries to tell Jacob, hey man, do not beat that dude up. But then Adam Pearce pisses off Roman Reigns, so Roman Reigns basically tells Jacob Fatu, hey man, go ahead and hit the splash. I don't care anymore. Go ahead and, he like motions to Jacob Fatu to do what he says because he's, Jacob Fatu's tribal chief and the guy he takes orders from. Jacob hits a splash. Roman Reigns is then ringside and he's like, you know what, Jacob? Go ahead and do it one more time. And smiles as he does it. And then Jacob Fatu goes back up and does a splash yet again, man. And then the segment officially ends with Roman saying, if you want to come for us, you better watch out or else this is going to be how you're going to end up, the same way that dude in the ring is. And so overall, this segment basically, I guess, serves to show that I guess Roman is now going to be closest with Fatu, saying to curse Obafemi. And I'm so done with Danhausen. Again, congratulations to the New York Knicks and their fan base, for winning an NBA championship, are getting to experience that, right? That's a great moment for them. And I heard Danhausen, he was like cursing teams that the Knicks played against and stuff like that. That's a cool gimmick. Guys, the finals are over. The Knicks are the champions. They actually played the games. Nobody cares about Danhausen's involvement in doing a curse on the New York Knicks opponents. This stuff is a waste of time. Why every week are we getting Danhausen going backstage and this guy's going, oh yeah, human monies, oh yeah, Danhausen, oh yeah, Nobody does contribute to the show. Liv Morgan goes backstage to ask Danhausen to curse Obafemi so Dominic can win. No one cares about any of this stuff, man. No one cares. It's a waste of time. This show is 2.5 hours and they can't be bothered to give you anything that's entertaining you, bro. They give you maybe 10 to 15 minutes of entertainment on Raw a week. And at the end of the day, that's 15 minutes more than SmackDown, but that's still 15 minutes out of a 2.5 hour programming where you barely have wrestling, and when you do, it genuinely means nothing. When is the last time, guys, that we've had a meaningful and engaging match on Raw that actually had a storyline involved with it? When is the last time? I cannot tell you the last time there was an actual storyline that was developed greatly on Raw in a great match that actually told a story in ring and that advanced the main overall story for this company. Because you know why? There hasn't been any good overall stories for this company since the Bloodline from 2.5 years ago. And that's the bottom line. We can make excuses and say, oh, well, Penta put on a banger. Chad Gable put on a banger. No one cares about bangers. Has literally been champion for what now? Like around 2 months or over 60 days? It's probably been around 60 days, something like that. And she has, I don't even think she has any defenses. She has 0 defenses, guys, in nearly 2 months. And I'm sitting here and I'm supposed to care about what she's doing. What is Liv Morgan doing? What is she doing, guys? I saw some posts that she was at the World Cup game or some stuff 2 days ago. She's been to more World Cup games than she's had championship defenses this year. Are you kidding me, bro? Or are you serious? And I'm supposed to care that she's backstage talking to Danhausen about cursing Obuscus Femi, bro. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, we move on stage talking to Danhausen about cursing Obuscus Femi, bro. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, we move on from this Livhausen stuff because to win a world championship, and he won't stop until his goal is completed. Yeah. Then Jimmy Uso comes out and basically says, LA, man, what you doing, man? What's up, man? The Usos and LA Knight story is so tired, bro. These dudes have been having beef since like last summer with Division. I mean, Jey Uso literally fought LA Knight in a fatal 4-way match for the world title in like August last year or something at Trash in Paris or whatever it was, bro. So it's over. The fact that we're still rehashing the same stuff with LA Knight in the Bloodline Vortex after he's been in this vortex pretty much since the summer of 2023, fighting solo every single week it felt like, and then fighting Jimmy every week. And then the fast forward last year, he was feuding with Jey Uso kind of, had a mini feud with Jey Uso this year. They were kind of at odds. Then they were at odds again after WrestleMania. Now they just fought on SmackDown. Now they're brawling again because after this, Jey Uso comes out and basically says, I want you to acknowledge me because I beat you fair and square. Jey Uso on SmackDown obviously didn't win fair and square because Solo got involved, and so we have to just retroactively just forget everything we've seen and just move on like nothing happened. That is the logic that this company is trying to present for tonight and leaves them not out in LA Knight's hometown of Baltimore, bro. LA Knight is on an all-time low, going on this humiliation tour ever since he did that stuff with Triple H. I'm saying the interview basically saying that creative has given him nothing. Well, they're going to continue to give you something, all right? They're going to give you a whole lot of brawl beatdowns where you get laid down looking up at the lights. Yeah! We move on. Charlotte and Roxanne and Liv Morgan and all these people have zero storyline going for them. So why does it matter? Nobody cares that Roxanne is tapping out to Charlotte. Roxanne in the match is told to us by Corito Graves that Roxanne is a step above when it comes to in-ring intelligence. She's second to none. And all she's done since she's come to the main roster is lose. What is she the prodigy of? The prodigy of jobbing out and getting destroyed every week? Is she the prodigy of being Liv Morgan's lapdog? What is she the prodigy of, guys? Her career on the main roster under this current booking, if it continues, is over. And she, just like Ethan Page, who is also a jobber right now and who's being booked into oblivion, if it continues, they're gonna get released. Roxanne Perez is not over, so I'm gonna yeet you out of this tournament and I'm gonna become King Javon of the ring. And he says, everyone's gonna say, your boy is, and then he puts the mic down and the crowd says bouncy, and he's like waving his arms back and forth, trying to get this new thing over where it's like a wave, like you move your hand to one side and then to the other. These wrestlers, man, now, because you know this is an instruction from creative, clearly. Like Bruce Pritchard, Triple H, someone back there is telling them, hey, say this same phrase 8 times. Hey, we're gonna make this merch for you where it says a phrase like bouncy or yeet or yeah or some stuff like that. And then when you actually go out there, wave your hands around, see if they pick up on it and make a noise with it. It's like how when Sol Ruca was over there in France and Italy, they were singing along to her song going, whoa. And then when she came to America for SmackDown, you know what I'm saying, previously on Friday, she basically got no reaction and nobody cared what her and Lyra were doing inside of that fatal 4-way. You get what I'm saying? These chants, they're just instruction to go out there and do chants and dance because that they know that the fans will eat that stuff up. That just shows you how Austin Hypothesis, okay? The match with Austin Hypothesis and what's going on, Javon Evans, like I said, is a DQ because of Braun Breaker's involvement. You get a brawl. Next week is going to be Braun Breaker and Austin Hypothesis, for the tag belts versus the Street Profits in London. Also on top of that, Seth Rollins is going to be fighting Braun Breaker at Night of Champions in a steel cage match. We're still dragging out feuds because we have nothing left to do on these shows. We move on from this situation and get to the main event. Nothing. I have being out there.